on the doors, engage the constituents, and take them to polling stations on election day, in rain or sun, storm or calm. These are the lifeblood of the organization. We must never disrespect or forget them. Those who take out the voters, we call them runners, but they are the most critical element in the organization come the day of election. At all times, we must honor, respect, and support our workers, the backbone of the Jamaica Labour Party and the strength of our democracy. I want to especially extend my thanks and commendation to all the workers and say without hesitation, you are the best political team in the Western Hemisphere. Thank you. God bless you. We must now return to your constituencies with one commitment: prepared to return Andrew Michael Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party team to government whenever the party leader chooses to ring the bell. I would like to reinforce the message of the leader and the government as we build a safe and prosperous Jamaica. We inherited, after 22 years of incompetent, moving in the right direction. In the area of national security, where I have been assigned to serve, we inherited neglect, which led to a lack of confidence, low morale among the officers who were coming under severe criminal pressure without being given the resources to effectively respond. This government is taking steps to ensure we have a strong, capable police force committed to serve and protect. We are rebuilding the infrastructure of the police force, police stations, the communication system, surveillance, mobility, intelligence, technology, forensic, and of course, welfare. We intend to build a safe and prosperous Jamaica. We are in the process of restoring and reconstructing all 186 police stations to ensure that the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force have good working conditions. We are designing them to be customer-friendly and effective offices for police officers. Never before in the history of Jamaica has this even been tried or attempted. We are rebuilding their communication system. We are developing and building the Jamaica Eye in order to increase capacity with technology. We are giving them a fleet of police vehicles, patrol cars, motorbikes, and pickups to ensure adequate mobility that they can respond to the call of our citizens. We have established a technology branch as we seek to bring our force into the 21st century. We are training more officers who will be imbued with Jamaican culture, respect for human rights, yet will have the capacity to deal with the heavily armed gangs. We'll have an effective maintenance system to ensure that after this major investment, our police stations, our motor vehicles will never deteriorate to the extent they have done before. For years, we have abused and politicized and not given police the effective tools to do their job. The Jamaica Labour Party government is changing that story. We are giving our young Jamaican professionals modern facilities, the right equipment, quality training, restoring their professional sense of pride and dignity in the execution of their duties. We will have a force and give Jamaica a force that will disrupt the gangs, restore public safety, rebuild trust, be a force for good, a force that all Jamaicans can take pride in. This year, as General Secretary, I want you to return to your constituencies to continue to build a strong Jamaica Labour Party organization. One term cannot do the job. We cannot complete the work of prosperity and safety in such a short time. We inherited 22 years of incompetence, corruption, and neglect. We will not satisfy every individual need, but we're on the right path. We are moving in the right direction. The road to safety and prosperity on which we build a new Jamaica is under construction. Your job as workers and leaders is take this positive message to every community, every corner, the bar, the night, the grave digging, the church, the schools, and wherever you can find your neighbor. Take the message. This message of hope is a message for all Jamaicans, young, middle-aged, senior citizens, and the physically or mentally impaired. We are government for all, seeking to bring opportunity to all Jamaicans, bring prosperity to all Jamaicans. The government under Andrew Holness, the government of the Labour Party is doing the work. We are moving in the right direction. Although we inherited some unholy mess, there's much more to be done. Open your neighbor's eyes to the future as we build a new Jamaica, a Jamaica of prosperity and safety. May God bless you. Keep us as we lead our people into a new Jamaica. God bless you. Shower Labourites.
Labour Party marching on. All right, marching on to victory. Labour Party marching, Labour Party marching on to victory.
Thank you. Labourites, let's have another big round of applause for General Secretary of the Great Jamaica Labour Party, Dr. the Honorable Orestia. Many Labourites, some of you not old enough to remember the work of a former Minister of Finance and Prime Minister, the late Sir Donald Byrne. This time, friends, show on the late Sir Donald Sangster.
Born in the breadbasket parish of St. Elizabeth on October 26, 1911, Sir Donald Sangster joined the Jamaica Labour Party in 1949 and became the party's first deputy leader in 1950. He led the Jamaica Labour Party to victory in the 1967 general elections and became the second Prime Minister of Jamaica since independence. He was a strong supporter of the Caribbean Free Trade Agreement and was integral in the movement to construct an airport in Montego Bay that was later renamed in his honor. Sir Donald Sangster passed away shortly after taking office in April 1967. The Jamaican $100 banknote features his portrait.
And Labourites, you know, got a strong history of the Labour Party in St. Elizabeth. Although he went and represented North Central Clarendon, the work of the late Sir Donald Sangster will always remain as a living testimony to the strength and character of this great Jamaica Labour Party. One of the men who continue to make this party proud is my good friend. He's a man whose chairmanship of the party has taken us to a different level. Former Minister of National Security. Now he has responsibility for mining and transport. The man who in the last general elections got more votes than even West Kingston. Let's welcome Member of Parliament for Western St. Mary, Chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party. Let's welcome Robert Bobby Montague.
Vote for Labour. Grab your neighbor, vote for Labour. Tell your neighbor to vote for Labour.
Chairman, Conference Chairman Desmond Mackenzie, Prime Minister Mitchell, Prime Minister Golden, fellow officers of the Jamaica Labour Party, mayors, candidates, councillors, bloggers of the Labour Party in social media, Laborites all, good afternoon. Let me also acknowledge the diplomats in the house and to say to them, welcome to the 76th conference of the greatest political party in the Western Hemisphere. Laborites, as we gather at our 76th conference, I ask you to remember my sister, my neighbor Shahini, in your prayers. Let us pause as Laborites to recognize the work and the worth of those stalwarts who passed this year. We will forever be grateful for their service and we salute them. Laborites, for a 76-year-old party, your party, my party, the party is looking good. Your party is in good hands. Your party is in good shape. Your party is in government. And what an excellent government. We have excellent ministers, excellent mayors, MPs, bloggers, councillors, and we have a good Prime Minister. He leads the best government, and we as Laborites are proud to call Andrew Michael Holness Laborite leader. But we know as Laborites that no matter how good the government is, government don't win election. It's parties win election. And that is why we know that we are slowly working to get the party ready. We're not upon no haste. We're not in no haste. We have work to do. We have projects to complete, and we have caretakers to install. But we are on track. We are carefully checking our candidates' backgrounds, their finances and connections to ensure that only the best are placed in seats, and we are being very careful. We are in no haste. We have certain processes and rules that we are following. Some people are in desperate haste to have an election. I call them desperado. But there's only one man can call election. One single dege man can call election. And him won't call election until the chairman of the party tell him that the party is 100% ready, and we are not there yet. We have persons working in every seat, but the process is not finished. We are Laborites, and we listen to you, the delegates of the party. We are working with you into seats to ensure that the right person goes into the right seat. We're not looking friends. We're not looking only candidates. We are looking for winners in your constituency to become members of parliament to return the Jamaica Labour Party. So tell such man, because there's a man desperado running up and down. Tell such man who is desperate for power, don't rush us. It's not going to work. So desperado got awake from his slumber, because you know him love sleep. And him declare when him wake up that him going to bust a scandal and we. But somebody set up desperado. Somebody thief a piece of paper up a radar. And the paper then thief had a list of farm roads in St. Thomas with the estimates to repair the road and then give it to Desperado. So Desperado said that we spend $1.6 billion on bushing. If we did spend so much money on bushing, no bush wouldn't left for St. Thomas. No bush wouldn't left a Portland. So all the goat when the man left a Portland, them they go to the dead field because no bush would left. How can a big man, a man with a PhD, a man we call doctor, how him have such poor judgment? Labor rights, we can't trust him. We can't trust him with power. We can't trust him to lead. Remember, labor rights, that such man go sign secret MOU and PG. We can't trust him. Him challenged Portia 2 times. After Portia put him in a big position, we can't trust him. Half, 50% of the PNP delegate don't want him to lead the PNP. Them not trust him, so we not trust him. Labor rights. Would you trust him with power? Would you trust him to sign anything on your behalf? Labor rights. It is 2 a.m. in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. Cat no draft in draws yet. Your baby sick. You carry your baby to hospital. And doctors say you must get a politician to choose the drugs and carry the drugs to save your baby. Would you trust such man with your baby? I say to such man, if you want to restore credibility with the Jamaican people, hurry up and shuffle your shadow cabinet. Shuffle out Victor Wrong, because now Trelawney won't drop him anyway. Dr. Peter David Phillips, if you want to restore credibility to your name, when you shuffle in the shadow cabinet, shuffle out my good friend Fenton, because Eastern St. Thomas won't shuffle him out anyway. Dr. Phillips, Dr. Peter David Phillips, if you want to restore credibility to your name, when you shuffle your shadow cabinet, shuffle out Dr. Peter David Phillips. We not trust it. But labor rights, I know who you can trust. I know who I trust. I trust the most honorable Andrew Michael Holness. The good book says, the good book in Psalm says, it is in him do I put my trust. I trust the most honorable bro God. If you doubt me, ask the people in Junction St. Elizabeth, him promise them water, him deliver water to the people in Junction. Ask the civil servants, him promise us 1.5, him deliver the 1.5 tax package. Ask the people of Chesterfield in St. Mary, him promise them bridge and him deliver the bridge. Rise and welcome, leader of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow him all the days of his life. And opposition will know that there's been a change of plan. And there comes a day when they will say, you do the best you can. Oh yes, that's right.
Just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, and you star up in the sky, Holness beacon shining bright, give us light in our darkest night. He's that great bit of hope when our backs against the ropes. I can feel it, I'm the world's greatest. Andrew is a leader, Holness is a teacher, oh, Andrew is a lion, down in the jungle, he is a fighter.
JLP cares for Jamaica. Come on, come on, come on, come on, yeah. I'm calling everyone who loves sweet Jamaica to stand and show our national pride. Out of many one people, still so much love. You see our government is doing what's right. We care for roads and community, we building integrity, we care for your families. Come on and do your part. Vote for the best.
Thankful. Blessings all for my life and my thank God for the journey, the earnings, that just for the plus. Yeah. Gratitude is a must. Yeah, blessings fall by my right hand. But that was for the friends that take off every load. One time did sit down in a class on the road, then police said the road and me go on with the road. Third for me, say me try a thing, and you know it for
Ladies and gentlemen, conference, let's welcome Easy. Let's welcome officially to the platform the Member of Parliament for West Central St. Andrew, leader of the great Jamaica Labour Party, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness.
Equal rights and justice is our everlasting song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember Bustamante, he served you well. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell.
Labor rights in our own rights. She's not here today only as the wife of our leader and Prime Minister. She's also here in her capacity as Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew, Juliet Holness.
Oh, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
Conference, I tell you that our leader, our Prime Minister is a man we can trust. And him come the right time. As I tell you, you can trust him, him come. Him is a good man. All him wife say him is a good man. He comes on time. Andrew Holness is our Prime Minister, and we are proud to call him our leader. Andrew Holness is the most honorable brigadier and leader of the Labour Party. Andrew Holness is a prosperity builder. Andrew Holness is a prosperity architect. Andrew Michael Holness deliver on his word. He's a man of his word. Andrew Holness delivers every time. Andrew Holness delivers the lowest unemployment rate in the history of Jamaica, the lowest interest rate, the lowest inflation rate. Andrew Holness has successfully completed the IMF program. He has lowered the debt to GDP ratio. He has delivered the fastest growing stock market in the world. Andrew Holness launched the whole program. He is fixing the problems at the Carwell Regional Hospital. Andrew Holness gave out more farm work tickets than ever before. Who delivered? Under Andrew Holness, we have put on the best Grand Gala in the history of Jamaica. We're developing Burnham Field. He has bought 2 brand new ships and helicopters for the army. He's building and repairing police station, launch Jamaica Eye, launch the DNA registry, training more police. Who deliver? Under Andrew Holness, for the last 2 years, no new taxes. Under Andrew Holness, last year, we reduced taxes. Under Andrew Holness, we issue the first ganja license. We are expanding agriculture. The schools getting more funding. We have launched PEP. We pay an exam fee for children and part. Who deliver? Under Andrew Holness, we have brought 4.3 million visitors to Jamaica. We have new flights and more airlines coming. We're building more hotels. We have pension for tourism workers. Who deliver? Andrew Holness deliver. We're fixing more courthouses. We're appointing more JPs. We're fixing more and more farm roads. It is easier to do business in Jamaica. We're building more factories. We implemented the one-use plastic ban. We have defined the cockpit country. We're developing more water shops. We have more new trucks at solid waste, 2 brand new fireboats. We have increased funding for councillors. Who deliver? Andrew Michael Holness has delivered. We have built out the largest solar plant. 6% of our energy needs is from renewables. We have launched a government online portal. We are building more rainwater system. National Housing Trust has started 23,000 housing solution under Andrew Holness, introduced intergenerational mortgage, restoring Jamaica's name internationally, reducing the renewal time for road licensing, expanding mining, introduce a rural school bus service. Who delivered that? Andrew Michael Holness delivered that. We have paid all judgment debts. We have built statues to honor our sports and cultural icons. We have increased the NIS payment, increased the part payment, increased the minimum wage, abolished the business tax, supporting the lupus victims, remove mandatory auxiliary fees. Who delivered that? Andrew Michael Holness delivered that. Labor rights. My fellow Jamaicans, you can trust Andrew Holness. He is the prosperity deliverer. He has done well in his first term, and every good term deserves a second term. Labor rights. My fellow Jamaicans, we have done much, but there is much more to be done. There's a lot still to be done, but we are working and we are working and we are working and we're getting ready for a second term. We know everything is not done. Everybody not happy, but you know and you have confidence that we are working. We will not only campaign on what we have done, because that done already. We are looking to tomorrow. New plans, new ideas, new things, better programs, because better must come. Andrew Holness is a prosperity builder, and he will continue to deliver prosperity. A new day is dawning. Hope is on the way. Better days are coming, but don't let down your guard. Remind people of our achievements, but we ask for your patience. We must unite as labor rights, but most of all, labor rights and Jamaicans, I ask for your love. I want your love. The Labour Party love people. Andrew Holness love people. And the people of Jamaica love Andrew Holness. The prophet Jeremiah prophesied years ago, centuries ago, and he prophesied about Andrew Holness. Jeremiah says, you labor rights know the plans that Andrew have for you. He has plans not to harm you, but plans to prosper you. Labor rights, we love you and you love Andrew Holness. The word is love. Shower labor rights.
Thank you. Powerful message. Powerful message. Labor rights. One more feature. Let us turn our attentions now as we look briefly at the work of Bruce Orett Golding.
The Honorable Orett Bruce Golding served as the 8th Prime Minister of Jamaica from September 11, 2007 to October 23, 2011.
I, Orett Bruce Golding, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica. So help me God.
As leader of the Jamaica Labour Party from 2005 to 2011, he ensured that the morals and values were instilled in party representatives.
We led Jamaica into independence in 1962. We led Jamaica's economic recovery in 1980. Today, the Jamaica Labour Party is leading Jamaica into a new era of hope, of prosperity, of opportunity. So that there's a great deal that we have to be proud of.
Bruce Golding represented 3 different constituencies as a Member of Parliament: West St. Catherine, Central St. Catherine, and Kingston West, while serving as Prime Minister. Although he has retired from representational politics, he stands firm in his belief that Jamaica needs to support the party that brings about change.
Governments don't win elections. Parties win elections. And it is our job, our duty, for all of us, to make sure that we keep that party machinery strong, so that whenever the next election comes, we can be assured that Andrew Holness and his government will be able to continue the work that they're doing for Jamaica.
Labor rights. He led this party with distinction. He was once my Member of Parliament. He served as Secretary of this party, Chairman of this party, Minister of Housing and Construction, Minister, Prime Minister, Conference, let's welcome. And I'm going to ask him also to introduce our guest speaker. Let's welcome Bruce Arrett Golding.
Don't stop at all. Drop this Arizona around an Albemarle. Driver, don't even eat. Collect a little food there and come back quick. Driver, just remember the damn speed limit. Cause if you're running the fence, my friend, that is it.
Labor rights. Back in 2011, when I was preparing to pass the baton of leadership, I said then that I had full confidence in the generation that came after mine to take charge of Bustamante's legacy, to provide the vision, the energy, and the firmness of purpose to lead this great party into the future. Today I declare to you, I have not been disappointed. Andrew Holness has validated the confidence that I expressed then. And he has proven himself to be an outstanding product of that generation. It's not easy to become prime minister when you're in your 30s, but Andrew Holness is the youngest prime minister we have ever had, becoming prime minister when he was still in his 30s. In the 3 years and 9 months that he has been prime minister, he has mellowed, he has matured, he has stamped his leadership on this country, and he has ignited the hopes and dreams of the vast majority of Jamaicans, especially young people who see in him an example of what they too can accomplish. And I want to say to him today, Andrew, under your leadership, this government has done well. You have demonstrated that the country is in safe and capable hands. The stabilization of the economy. You have achieved record low inflation. Last year, inflation was 2.4%. Not so long ago, we would have endured 2.4% in 1 month alone. But under his leadership, that is what we were able to achieve last year. Under his leadership, Jamaica today boasts record low unemployment. And I want to give you some figures so that you understand what I'm talking about. When Andrew became prime minister, the number of unemployed people in Jamaica was 185,000. This year,
that number has fallen to 105,000, a decline of 43% in the number of persons looking work and can't find work. He has undertaken a massive program of investment in infrastructure, and I'm not just talking about the highways that are there for everybody to see. When I drive through some deep rural parts of Jamaica, I am amazed to see roads that had never once been introduced to asphalt, to now to be able to drive on paved roads in deep rural Jamaica. You know, some people used to say, don't stop the progress. Well, is this the kind of progress we cannot afford to stop? Looking back again in 2006, when I addressed the conference, I promised you that we were about to end the 18 long years we had spent in the political wilderness. And I remember you asked me, how long? I said to you, not long. You asked me, how soon? I said to you, soon, soon. This time, I have the same confidence that I had then, that Andrew Michael Holness is set to lead this party into the second term of government whenever the next elections are called. Now, I don't know what is in Andrew's mind. Only he, I don't even think Juliet knows. Only he knows when he's going to ring the bell and fly the gate. But as we approach the final year of this first term, let us realize it can't be too long. If it is not soon, soon, it won't be long, long. So, conference, my charge to you today, get ready. Make sure you have oil in your lamp and make sure that your wicks are well trimmed. PD captains, PD workers, indoor and outdoor agents, cluster supervisors, you know what you have to do. Get busy. When you leave this arena today, go out and mobilize every laborite, every well-thinking Jamaican who wants to see Jamaica continue and accelerate on the road to prosperity. Mobilize them to ensure that the second term is even grander than the first term. Let us promise me today that you are going to show the comrades that what took place with Norman Dunn in Southeast St. Mary and Anne-Marie Vaz in East Portland was just a taste of what is to come. And now, to my special task. 40 years ago, the beautiful island of Grenada suffered a painful experience that, thank God, we have never had to endure, although we came close one time. It was a time when the duly elected government was overthrown. And for 4 years, Grenada was ruled by a communist dictatorship. That dictatorship started to crumble in 1983 when Maurice Bishop himself was murdered by a group of his cronies. Grenada was plunged into even deeper chaos. It was Edward Seaga and the Jamaica Labour Party who took the initiative in collaboration with President Ronald Reagan to intervene to restore freedom and democracy and the rule of law in Grenada. In the election that followed in 1984, a young man who was then still in his 30s was elected as Member of Parliament for the constituency of St. George Northwest, representing the newly formed New National Party. He has held that seat for 35 years. He had been re-elected 7 times. He became Prime Minister in 1995 and is now serving his 5th term as Prime Minister of Grenada. You know something about him? In 3 of the elections that he ran, including the last one last year, he won every seat. He didn't leave one seat for the opposition. Good God, Keith, have mercy, man. You don't believe in democracy. Under his astute leadership, Grenada has done extremely well. I'll tell you something else about him. Over the last 5 years, Grenada has recorded average annual economic growth of more than 5% over the last 5 years. He is a mathematician by training, and just like our own Nigel Clark, he holds a PhD in mathematics. He's a servant of the people by choice and commitment. He's an outstanding Caribbean leader, and he has been, within CARICOM, he has been given special responsibility for the development of science and technology. He's a former captain of the Grenada cricket team. We in the JLP have had close relationship with the New National Party, which he leads, ever since it was formed in 1984. He and I have been good friends through all of those years. And therefore it gives me immense pleasure to bring to address this 76th anniversary conference of the Jamaica Labour Party a distinguished Caribbean leader, an honorary laborite, the leader of the New National Party, the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell.
Welcome with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life.
Thank you, my dear brother Bruce, your distinguished former Prime Minister of this beautiful country. And of course, the President of your party and distinguished Prime Minister, colleague of the Caribbean community. And of course, his beautiful wife, Brother Andrew Holness and Mrs. Holness, distinguished executive members of your wonderful party, my fellow members of the Caribbean Democratic Union who are here with us today, distinguished members of the diplomatic community, my brothers and sisters, all of this special party, the Jamaica Labour Party. I tell you something, I nearly never got here to this conference today. You know why? When I left the hotel, I thought I had a clear drive up to this place. The entire street of Kingston and all the areas were filled with green. I don't know what you have done to the people of Jamaica, but keep doing it, sisters and brothers. I have a simple story. Three or 4 weeks ago, my brother Andrew requested that I come to this important convention. I looked at the dates and realized that was the same date of my presentation of my national budget, that Monday, that is tomorrow. So I told him, look, I have a problem. If I come, I have to find a way to get back the night. But after I discussed with my colleagues, we agreed to bring forward the national budget of the country. And therefore, because we have all the seats in Parliament, I can't say that we had a debate, we had a serious discussion to the people of the country. And therefore I left this morning at 6 o'clock after finishing last night to be right here with all the green people of Jamaica, sisters and brothers. Sisters and brothers, when you get a call from Big Grenada and you coming from Little Grenada, Little Jamaica, sorry, you have no choice but to be here. I am so delighted to be here with you at this particular time. As was said, the JLP and the NNP of Grenada do have historical relationship. I would not be standing here with you today without the support of your great past leader and distinguished Prime Minister Edward Seaga, who nurtured me as a political novice. And therefore I owe him, and I owe Jamaica, and I owe the JLP a lot. Sisters and brothers, I want to say to you also that I am very happy to be among brothers and sisters here today. But I also want to say that besides being here with your distinguished party and distinguished Prime Minister, My friend Bruce Golding, I will never forget, and he was Prime Minister of this country, and I was in opposition. I came to Jamaica, and he greeted me as Prime Minister, and therefore also I will never forget this. And he introduced me to me, then the Education Minister, who was like a youth, still a youth, who is now your Prime Minister of Jamaica. You see how history has a way of telling some serious stories. In addition to a long-standing relationship and friendship, I feel like we have shared a kindred spirit with a remarkable turnaround of your economy under the distinguished leadership of your Prime Minister. It is well known, sisters and brothers, that when the NNP resumed office in 2013, Grenada was in serious economic straits. Unemployment was over 40%, and the debt to GDP ratio was 108%. The situation that existed here in Jamaica almost mirrored what was happening in Grenada, and your debt to GDP ratio was declared to be as high as 150%. The truth of that reality is the geopolitical contradiction was recently revealed that at the height of the Greek financial crisis, it was authoritatively said that Jamaica and Greece had been subject to the most oppressive austerity program implemented by the IMF. But what happened subsequently, and you need to be aware of this, sisters and brothers, Greece was given substantial easing while Jamaica remained under the grinding yoke. But still, look where you are today, sisters and brothers. Brother Andrew, when I see the economic transformation you have engineered today, I can safely say that you have taken a page from little Jamaica. Sisters and brothers, it's remarkable to say that the least and most deserving of utmost praise, that Brother Andrew, I'm in full agreement with the notion that you are credited for leading a silent revolution in Jamaica. You have succeeded in moving Jamaica from the depths of grinding oppression, of austerity, to the limitless vision of a transformed economy, characterized by innovative reforms and initiatives designed to steer your country further along the path of prosperity. It is significant to note that the only two Caribbean countries that have in fact passed in Parliament a Fiscal Responsibility Act is Big Grenada and Little Jamaica. Little Jamaica. You understand that, my friends? The only two countries, Jamaica and Grenada. Sisters and brothers, the Jamaican economic miracle against extreme odds is a significant achievement and testimony of the leadership that you have. In fact, hold that tight. Sisters and brothers, sometimes when we have a good thing going, we take things for granted and we get complacent. You ought not to be complacent, sisters and brothers. But what I see here today tell me I don't even have to tell you anything more about this. But anyhow, as I take a final point, my good brother has defined the terms of the engagement of Jamaica with the IMF. The eradication of poverty, as you know, is not measured by the impoverishment of the successful. In other words, you do not bring down the rich to help the poor. You do what you have to do to bring everybody up the ladder, sisters and brothers. Sisters and brothers, allow me then to move to the local Jamaican scene, to the wider stage of the Caribbean. Today, more than ever, the need for regional solidarity is paramount. While it is inevitable that political differences and nuances remain between political parties of the region, with distinguishing characteristics among us all, we have to view economic growth, poverty reduction, challenges, and equity as essential. We are entering into a historical period in which the most important issues are no longer classical ideological but existential issues. No matter how we describe ourselves, sisters and brothers, whether right or left, liberal or conservative, we are all equally at risk with climate change, and solutions that we must implement are common to all, especially small island developing states. Sisters and brothers, as I bring you back to the domestic level, I encourage you to continue to recognize and appreciate the gem that you have, the Jamaica Labour Party and its leader, Andrew Holness. My friends, we all know that the JLP is steeped in the tradition of being a champion of the working class. From the era of Sir Alexander Bustamante in the 1950s to the visionary leadership of the late Edward Seaga in the 1980s, to the youthful vigor and leadership of Andrew Holness, you have what it takes in Jamaica, sisters and brothers. That, sisters and brothers, means that as you are united as a people, united of the action and the needs to become more possessive as we chart the power of development for our respective country and the Caribbean nationals in general. We must demonstrate, sisters and brothers, the unity at the Caribbean level to overcome the many challenges that we face at the global level. Individually, our voices must go forward, sisters and brothers, as we have in unity. Sisters and brothers, Andrew Holness has been a wonderful light at the CARICOM level, sisters and brothers. He has provided the kind of leadership and guidance that the CARICOM community needs. Therefore, I urge you, do not disappoint me. I would like to continue with the next 3 years as Prime Minister of Grenada at the CARICOM level with the vision and support of Andrew Holness. I wish you all tremendous success. Keep on going forward.
Come on and do your part. Vote for the best. Vote for Jamaica Labour Party. Straight from your heart. Vote for the best.
Labour rights. I'm going to ask you to put your hands together and give Prime Minister Keith Mitchell a bigger round of applause. Give him a real Labour Party applause. Not one man or woman have moved from where you are since you came here this morning. What is to come in a couple of minutes' time is what a lot of Labour rights and Jamaicans want to hear. But before that, Labour rights, I want to invite you now to just be calm, take it easy, and let us look at a short feature on the life and the work of the most honorable Edward Philip George Seaga.
It is absolutely important that we have your perspective on the Jamaica Labour Party, the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party, the rich history of the party, the philosophy of the party, and the symbols of the party. What was the reason behind adopting the bell as our symbol?
I'm not sure that we had a symbol before the referendum in 1961. The symbol that we had was the one that was on the electoral card.
Yeah.
Where we had the hand and the PNP had the head. And from that emanated the V symbol.
Victory.
Victory. But when the referendum came, the electoral office was unhappy with using politically known symbols for the purpose of the referendum, which was just a yes or no. And so they decided that we should get new symbols. And I said, but I have the right thing, because just a couple of weeks ago, I bought a bell, a big bell, a bell with a 7 or 8 inch bulb. And to that extent, when you ring it, the people really went in a frenzy.
This is the bell
This is the bell that I bought.
Where did this term Labourite come from?
Well, it's a grammatical extension of the word labor. And as you know, Bustamante was in particular involved in the labor movement when the problems of the 1930s started. That is where he found himself involved, on the side of labor. And when the time came to establish the names of the parties, he was very happy when the PNP spoke of being a national party.
Yeah.
He said, okay, you're a national party, I'm a Labour Party. In the very early days, the PNP were taking a very, very deep interest in ideology, because they started out as being a party that was very socialistic. But we were liberal capitalists because of our consideration of the poor. And now we need to do social things to benefit the people.
So our policies have always been supported pro-poor policies. So we're not socialists, but we do believe in pro-poor policies, policies to help the poor.
That's right.
Which one of your achievements would you want to highlight?
Well, there is one virtually in every decade, not as a single achievement, but as a future. The cultural activities of the 60s, I don't think will ever be repeated. But we had so many things that we unleashed. The National Festival, the introduction of Jamaican music, or created Jamaican music, and the success that generated abroad, to the extent that it convinced the people in Jamaica that live above Crossroads, uptown people, that they should follow it. Before that, they wouldn't listen to the downtown. The next was our historical element. And I brought back the body of Marcus Garvey. And we were able to inter his body here and to create the order of the nation.
Any words of encouragement to the workers, to the party faithful?
I would like them to know that I feel for them in their troubles. But I know that they take great heart when they see results coming about. And that is a substantial reward for me, to see problem and solution. And not to give up in the sense that it don't look like anything going to happen. No. Just continue to work on. And as long as we're continuing to do what we are doing, we're going to get out of this problem one of these days. And if the day comes that I see the problem going in the wrong direction, I'm going to talk about it. I am going to say so.
Sasaga. Great sir.
A little higher with the blue, with the blue. Being appointed Prime Minister.
It is the legacy of Edward Seaga that has built the strength and character of this great Jamaica Labour Party. And as we celebrate our 76th anniversary, we're looking good for 76. Pretty good for 76. Our dress is at the right length. All our pants is at our waist. And we look like men and women with a mission of hope, a mission that can only be manifested and become a reality if we believe in the principle and the leadership of Andrew Holness. It is my pleasure now, conference, to bring to address you on a day that Jamaicans across the world will recall as one of the greatest days in the history of the Jamaica Labour Party. One of the greatest prime ministers Jamaica has ever seen. A leader of substance, a leader of class, a leader of integrity. You can't test Andrew Holness. You can't talk about his performance. You can't talk about his integrity. Conference, party leader, and Prime Minister, let's welcome Michael Andrew Holness.
Rise to the occasion, look at yourself and say you're strong. No one can stop you. Oh, yeah. Rise to the occasion, go ahead, you know you're strong. No one can stop you. It's for you to make the best in the life. Know that you got the chance, get from start. Be your needs are the ones.
Labor rights! Labor rights! We're looking good. We're looking really good. As I drove in, I scratched my head because I wonder where so much labor right come from. So I turn to the most honorable Mrs. Brogard. Juliet. And I said to her, next year it looked like we have to go in the stadium. Because there is no place in the arena to hold the crowd that is here. I would estimate that at least 6 times the number of persons inside here are outside the arena. At least.
I want to thank God for sparing our lives, for keeping us firm and strong, so that we can see another year at the conference.
You keep me still my song. Give me the energy we need.
We give God thanks for the life and service of the Most Honorable Edward Philip George Siaga. For Ken Ball and all the other stalwarts that have gone before us. We give thanks for their life, and we remember them, and we honor the principles of the Jamaica Labour Party and us committing to build on the legacy that they have left behind. Our conference theme this year is Building Jamaica. And I know that every single delegate, every single worker, every single supporter of the Labour Party here today believes in the mission of building Jamaica. I know, believe that we have the right set of plans and we have the right set of hands working to build Jamaica. I want to thank all of you who are here today. Some of you got up from very early this morning, put your rice and peas to soak, jump on the bus. Some of you never eat any breakfast. You took the long ride, rain or shine, good times or bad times. You have been faithful to the party. You are the heart and soul of the party.
We do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it.
You give me the energy that I need. I am inspired when I see the commitment in your eyes and when I hear the passion in your voices.
You make me stronger. Oh.
I want to thank you for your participation and support. You make me stronger. Yes, DJ.
You make me stronger. Oh, oh.
You make the Labour Party stronger. You make our democracy stronger. Because you turning out here, jumping on that bus and coming to sit down here and listening to the speeches and the eternity of seeing your friends, that is a critical part of the democracy of this country. You make Jamaica stronger.
You make me stronger. Oh, come on. Say, you make me stronger.
There was a time, when people used to be closet Labour rights. The one show to them a labor right. Not so anymore. I see people that walk up and down all over in a them green shirt, in a supermarket, in a plaza, I go all over because you are proud to be a member and supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party. I want to thank our special guests, Mr. Janelle Powell, the chairman of the People's Action Movement in St. Kitts and Nevis, and my very good friend, the Honorable young boy Keith Mitchell. Your address. As like-minded political organizations, we believe in democracy and legitimate government. We believe in competitive markets, freedom of the individual to work and innovate, to create wealth for their fulfillment, giving people the opportunity to have decent work is the greatest means of social transformation and economic independence and empowerment. As like-minded political organizations, we believe in positive social action to end intergenerational poverty and close the historic gaps of unequal endowment by giving every person equal opportunity to compete in our society and economy. As like-minded political parties, we believe in the sustainable use of our natural resources and environment. It is important for the regional fraternity that we continue to work together, sharing the common platform of our beliefs through the Caribbean Democratic Union to ensure Caribbean economies and societies progress to prosperity in line with our principles, and that the region remains the most peaceful and politically stable region on earth. The Jamaica Labour Party views CARICOM as an important regional institution. It is for this reason that in July 2016, I commissioned a report on CARICOM, led by former Prime Minister Bruce Orrit Golding, the driver. To examine our relationship with CARICOM and the institutions of CARICOM to see whether or not they are meeting the objectives for which they were established. The report initiated much debate, and the debate is ongoing. But Jamaica now has a firm position on CARICOM. We believe that CARICOM and the single market is an extension of our local market. We believe in the free movement of goods, services, capital, people, and intellectual property. We know that there are challenges within CARICOM to achieve these goals. But I am heartened when I see that the private sector in CARICOM has decided to come together and work towards achieving these core principles. Keith, I am sure that in our lifetime, we will be able to truly achieve a CARICOM single market and economy where all CARICOM citizens, residents, CARICOM and Caribbean people will be able to move around freely and call each territory their home. That is part of the strategy of building Jamaica by expanding our markets. The Jamaica Labour Party, since taking government, has increased Jamaica's presence and participation on the global scale. I am not certain if there has ever been a time in Jamaica's history where Jamaica has had such a global and international profile. And I'm pleased to say that we have good diplomatic relations with everyone with which we are engaged. But we have always had a foreign policy based on principles. We believe in multilateralism with special and differential treatment for trade for small developing economies. We believe in democracy, the rule of law and human rights, and we believe in the non-interference in the domestic affairs of sovereign countries. That has always been the core of our foreign policy, and that hasn't changed. But foreign policy is not just for foreign policy's sake. Foreign policy must support our economic development. So we engage strategically in our foreign relations to improve our economy and society. Through our foreign policy, we will build Jamaica as an open, free, democratic, competitive, efficient, safe, secure, smart, and sustainable society where people from all over the world will choose to invest, trade, innovate, produce, live, leisure, raise families, and retire in paradise. In September of this year, I visited the White House and we had a summit with Vice President Pence. I see the US ambassador here in the audience. We have started discussions on a new framework of cooperation between our two countries to address national security, trade and investment, and resilience, and energy. You would see that we have signed a new memorandum of cooperation on intercept. We didn't sign it in secret. It's not a secret MOU. It is something that is done with the knowledge and consent of the cabinet, and all the relevant authorities have reviewed it and have acted in the interest of the people of Jamaica. Nothing in secret. Within that framework, there are other cooperation agreements that we are signing with customs, with border control and protection, all kinds of agreements. Our relationship with the United States of America is as strong as it ever was, and I dare say is stronger now than it was ever before. We are now out of an IMF agreement. When we were in the IMF agreement, it was not easy. But we had friends in the United States. And I want to take this opportunity to publicly acknowledge the Congressional Black Caucus, who was very instrumental in the government getting the IMF deal. And I want to thank the US Treasury Department, who supported, guided, and continue to give support for developing Jamaica's capacity to manage and successfully conclude the IMF program. We have a special cooperation with the EU, and I see Ambassador Vasileska here with us representing the EU countries. They are helping, like the United States, to build Jamaica in the area of community development and security. The two things go together, and the EU is providing us with support of 20 million euros. And we will be using this to support a strategy of intervention in crime-riddled communities. Remember, I told you, we identified 20 communities that are responsible for a significant percent of crime and violence in Jamaica. Our crime fighting strategy is not just dependent on police and states of public emergency. Those measures cannot by themselves bring down our murder rate. There has to be a long-term, sustained intervention in communities. And we have shown in Mount Salem and in Denham Town that with that kind of joined-up approach from government and that focused approach on security and community development, we can bring down crime. So next year, labor rights, Jamaicans, we will be able to increase the number of communities that are under the zones of special operations. We will be able to add at least 4 more communities. And that, labor rights, will have a signal effect on bringing down crime, not just temporarily, but a long-term downward trajectory in crime. The government of Jamaica will be adding resources to that as well. And so you're going to hear an announcement of not just 4, but possibly an additional 3 communities. So we are moving very quickly to cover all those 20 communities that we have identified and have them under zones of special operations where we can control crime and at the same time allow the community peace to build and flourish and grow. That is how we use our diplomatic relations to build Jamaica through strategic cooperations, and we are building Jamaica one community at a time. Crime is one thing, but labor rights, violence is another. Man to man is so unjust. Man to woman sometimes so unjust. Parent to child sometimes so unjust. We becoming too aggressive. And these are the things that must be brought to the platform of the political party, because all of you here are influencers in your own community. The violence is getting too much now, too much. So I have commissioned a study led by a well-known and respected university professor who has done great work in early childhood development, Professor Sams Vaughan. And she has assembled an expert team to pull this together, along with support from the British Department for International Development, DFID. And that report will guide the government as to the legislative changes that need to be made. Some are already underway. And to the programs that we need to put in to make Jamaica a gentler, more loving society. Labor rights, the violence is affecting our brand. Brand Jamaica is a big brand, you know, but nobody owns it. And when you do studies on the brand, you find that the brand is being affected by some negative things that is causing the products that we produce, including our music and our cultural assets, not to be as accepted as they should be. So your government has now put in place a program. We have approved a project to start to now own Brand Jamaica. We are going to study it. We have approved the financing for it. But more than that, we are going to develop now the ownership of both the intellectual property and the real assets that contribute to the brand. So now you have man producing, using the name Blue Mountain Coffee, and that coffee never even picked from Blue Mountain. We have people using Brand Jamaica to market their products all over, and some of them never see Jamaica before. We have some really important assets that contribute to Brand Jamaica. Take, for example, Dunn's River Falls. You can't find a more beautiful fall of that nature in the world. And we have it here. It's a brand. We have Port Royal. You can't find another city in this region with as much history as Port Royal. And we have other assets all over. What we're going to do is to create a special trust to own those brands so that nobody can sell them. Nobody can use it without permission, so that they will always remain in the heritage and ownership of the people of Jamaica. Many of these assets are now in the UDC. We have asked the UDC to ring fence them and start the process now of putting them in a trust. And once they are in a trust, nobody can touch them. Government can't touch them, private sector can't touch them. We own those properties, including some of our beaches, because we hear the cry, we hear the frustration on the ground that people can't get access to their beaches. So in building Jamaica, it's not just building, it's about how man relate to woman, and woman relate to children, and we relate to each other as people. It's about protecting and building up our intellectual property that we create, and it is about preserving our built and natural environment so that the people and generations to come can have it to enjoy. We can't build Jamaica in chaos. And I see the chaos and indeed the mayhem sometimes on our roads. It has not escaped me. And as supporters of the party, I hear the complaints from you as well. Boy, the taxi man then. Now I want it to be understood that the Labour Party understands and appreciates the culture of going out there and earning your own bread. That is the Labour Party culture. Earning your own bread. And we have supported taximen. We have made it possible for them to renew their fleet. And now the Minister of Transport is making an investment in their training. So we understand. But I want the taximen and road users as well to appreciate that there can be no prosperity in chaos and disorder. So we have put together a set of plans to address this, starting next year. The first thing is that we need to be able to detect very quickly road users who are breaching the Road Traffic Act. And it is not always that there will be a policeman at every stoplight. But believe me when I tell you that next year there will be a program to have smart technology, including cameras at every single stoplight in the corporate area and in rural townships and urban townships where stoplights exist. The NWA has now submitted to me a plan which will incorporate the private sector to build out the number of stoplights and smart technology throughout our city. The law has been modified to allow for prosecution of persons who have been detected by electronic means. There must be order on our roads. Next year, we have discussed with the Commissioner of Police the start of zero tolerance areas. There are some places in Jamaica where you have to consider they are critical public spaces. If there is chaos in those areas, it affects everywhere else. One place comes to mind readily, and you will agree, Halfway Tree. If Halfway Tree is the center of our city and critical public space, it can be chaos. So I have told the Commissioner, and the Commissioner is already putting in place those plans, that Halfway Tree must be one of the first places in which the policy of zero tolerance for breaches of the road traffic and all the other laws for public order must be instituted. Labor rights. We are now entering what is called the fourth industrial revolution. What is that? That is the era where everything is connected by the internet. That is the era where you have artificial intelligence, meaning that you have enough data on almost everything that is happening that you can use analytics to make decisions. You can use mathematical formulas to make decisions. It is not necessarily a replacement of human intelligence or human labor, but it can be. It can be if we do not become the producers of the technology, the users of the big data, the creators of the software and the machinery that uses that software, we can be left behind. In the 80s, we recognized the need for technical and vocational skills, and we introduced something called TechVoc in our schools, and we built hard to train our people in technical and vocational skills. That is still needed, still important. But if we are going to survive as a people in this new age of technology, we now need to make the investment in a new kind of education for our children. In February, I will be launching a new education transformation program for Jamaica. That program will be geared towards ensuring that Jamaica can leapfrog into the 21st century and that our human resources can be empowered with 21st century skills to get the 21st century jobs so that we can become a leading and prosperous nation in the 21st century.
I can, yeah, want to work in the air as far as I can.
On my recent visit to China, in our bilateral discussions, amongst other strategic discussions on trade and investment, we spoke about education and technology. And the Chinese government has agreed that they will assist us in building 3 new STEM schools. You know what STEM means? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The government of Jamaica will also fund 3 additional STEM schools, and they will be spread strategically right across Jamaica. So we will be doing, within the next 6 years, 6 new STEM schools. That is conservative. Depending on how our economy does, I am committed to putting more resources and putting resources faster to this project so we may be able to have them within 3 years. Let me be clear. These schools will not be operated under the old Education Act. These schools will be created under a different framework called schools. We call these schools centers of excellence. They will be operated as academies. They will have to adhere both in their instruction and management and in how they operate as a school. They will have to adhere to the highest standards of excellence. None of this disorder and chaotic and disrespectful behavior, either on the part of students, teachers, or parents. It must be a place that when you go to those schools, you come out as being an ambassador for the best that the society has to offer.
Strive, step up in life and go for what you know.
We cannot build a Jamaica with the chaka-chaka behavior, with the disrespectful behavior, with the informal behavior. We must build a Jamaica on the plane of respect, with our eyes cast for excellence and the highest standards. That is the kind of Jamaica that we're going to build, where people have the emotional intelligence to treat justly and fairly, man to man, woman to woman, children, because labor rights, I'm sure you will agree with me, that sometimes it feels that there is a decay taking place in our society. And we cannot preside over a society in which its economy is growing and all the signs are showing that we are doing well, but socially we are regressing. So the party is very concerned about that, and we will return the highest standards to our culture, the highest standards to our society and our people.
I am a success story, yeah, success, a success story. I am.
We are progressing to prosperity. But that progress to prosperity sometimes can seem very unfair to people who have not yet seen or felt the benefit. They see others progressing. They see people getting employed, but they can't get employed. They see people getting houses, but they can't get houses. And it can cause in the society a kind of alienation. And we are sensitive to that. And that is why we emphasize equal opportunity. And the best way to equalize opportunity is to give every single Jamaican, especially the Jamaican that is poor, access to education.
I believe the children are future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty.
But there is another dimension of poverty, and that is income. And you can seek to correct that in two ways. You can give people welfare grants, and we do that through PAC, which we call that now a conditional cash transfer. We give you that money if you're sending your children to school. We give you that money if you're pregnant and lactating. But now, we believe that we have to now create the opportunity where you can work for that money. And not just, as we call it in Jamaica, giveaway work. We write down your name that you're working, but you don't come to work. There are so many things to be done in Jamaica. So many programs that we can create to get people employed, which we have done through the Hope program, which by now we would have over 26,000 youngsters engaged in the Hope program. But now we need to reach out to that person in rural Jamaica who not making nothing of agriculture right now, who only able to do 1 day's work. That mother who is struggling with 3 children going to school and just can't find her way. We have so many problems